Hello, Collective. Welcome to your reading. Collective, this is a general spirit check-in, not a one-to-one spirit check-in, so you might not resonate with the whole reading. Whatever you do resonate with, please take what you need and leave the rest behind. Collective, I could be picking up on your energy or on the energy of someone who's in your energy. So if it doesn't feel like I'm speaking about you, please switch the energies around. Before we begin the reading, Collective, I would like to thank the paid channel members, the medicine keepers. They are Kate, Jace Frankson, Starlight, Jill Erica, Maggie Wilson, Lionel Duarte, Vicky Desiderada, Monique C, Stacy S, Adelpha's Door, Ksenia, Julie, Love Is, Kat Zettler, Kate Johns, and Chris Mason. Thank you so much to the paid channel members. I very much appreciate it. The members of the mystery schools. All right. And thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you guys so very much for your subscription. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you like my style of reading, please subscribe. It's totally free. It's incredible the state of affairs of the world that's going on, and the fact that we have chosen to be here in the midst of it all. Creator, Great Mystery, Holy Spirit of the Most High, please bless this reading. Please bring in the knowledge and the wisdom and the guidance of the Most High for the collective. Please protect the listeners and the viewers from your high voltage energy that may come in through the reading. Please give us the strength to carry the guidance, to carry the truth and the guidance that comes through. And these are dimensions that you already know. You viewers already know. Let us begin. These cards have already been pre-shuffled, but we're just going to cut them. And this is just going to be a very basic little reading. If I can quick little spirit check-in. This card has been coming up a lot. Ooh, look at that. Okay, what's on the bottom of the deck? 20. I always see this as the Two of Swords, even though it's not the Two of Swords. Okay, so number 58 breaks down. This is in the past, present, future. This is the card that is supporting the entire reading, okay? So Feast of Plenty, choice and their consequences, 20. When 20 breaks down, it becomes a 2. In a way, it almost is like a 2 of swords. Maybe some sort of difficult decision coming in. Choices and their consequence. I'm also hearing a truce with yourself. Yes, that's what that is. Vanishing mirror, number 58. When 58 is broken down, it becomes a 13. When 13 is broken down, it becomes a 4. So this could correspond to home and personal history of your birth chart. This brings you into the present, which is forgiveness, repairing the veil. Number 45. When number 45 broken down, it becomes a 9. Could be in the 9th house, your relationship to God. Unless number 45 and number 9 correspond or are significant to you in some other way, let that stand. And number 18 in the future. 18, when it's broken down, becomes a 9. Again, relationship to creativity, to the creator. Spirituality is the 9th house. Could be. And the 2nd house, when 20 is broken down, it becomes a 2. The 2nd house, the house that often will correspond to Taurus, your personal values. So it's a shift of your values, your personal values, your beliefs, and your values. Choices and their consequences. I feel like there's a shift because your choices and consequences are showing up here. So it's like the creator is showing you where you're coming from and where you're going, and the shift in your values as you move forward. Okay, so the vanishing mirror, vanishing mirror, ego sublimation. I feel like for many of you, you've already initiated this process. For others of you, I feel like you're just beginning this process. So for those of you that have already initiated this process, you've already come through. It's not necessarily the destruction of the ego, because you will never destroy the ego. The ego is very important. The ego is the, like Brene Brown says, is the hustler. You know, that corresponds to the prostitute archetype that all of us have. Everybody, it's a survival archetype. We're a survival archetype. According to Caroline Myss, Sacred Contracts, we have 4 survival archetypes. The prostitute, the saboteur, the child, and the victim. These are worldwide because we all belong to the same human family. So when the saboteur comes into our lives, I can feel that energy actually when the saboteur comes onto the plane, gets activated, when the archetype gets activated. I can feel it. It's like a destructive energy, and I realize that something in my life needs to be dismantled. Now I can take this archetype by the hand and we can do it together, or I can be oblivious to it, pretend I'm oblivious to it, ignore it, and let my shadow do the work. And that process will be a lot more painful. The saboteur can get us fired, break up our marriages, get us arrested, humiliate us, embarrass our family, embarrass the people we care about. The shadow, when left unattended, can be very dangerous. So it's so important that we know ourselves and that we understand these 4 base archetypes that have helped us survive. But we're being asked to become adult mystics. No more child's play. It's time to wake up and it's time to grow up. So that's what I'm seeing here, is something in you you've let go of an old version of yourself. You've allowed this to shatter, bringing you into whatever identity you were locked into has to do with something that needs forgiving. And I feel like you're being asked, you either are already doing this work or you're being asked to forgive somebody in your life, and it will bring you into eyes of the eagle. It'll bring you into a much higher perspective, much higher. So you're right in the midst of this work. You're right in the midst of this work. And where you go from here will determine what you do right now, will determine where you end up. But for those of you that are headed on an authentic path, it's going to bring you most likely into the eyes of the eagle, rising above the fray. Maybe this is forgiving something in yourself. Letting go of something in yourself. It's not even about the other person, it's more about you. A decision that must be made that will affect the rest of your life. But all decisions affect the rest of our lives. We're just not aware of it in the moment. It shows up later on down the road, or we're not aware of it right in the moment. Okay, Creator, what is the vanishing mirror? Yes, okay. Ooh, the Ten of Swords in reverse. So you went through a dark night and it could not get any worse. It was not going to get any worse than what it was. Am I taking these? No. Okay. They're both face down. You went through a dark night and you came out on the other side. You've come out of a dark night, and I'm feeling that's what partly contributed to the shattering of your image, some sort of self-image that wasn't entirely true, but it was an image that helped you survive. It carried you through your own shadow. It was a part of your shadow, camouflaged in your shadow. And you've come out of it, but you had to go through the dark. You had to go through the Ten of Swords. When this is in reverse, you're coming out of it. The Wheel. Oh my God, and the World in reverse. So you've come to the end of a fixed sign in your recent past. This could be home and personal history. This could be yesterday. This could be your childhood. However you resonate with these cards, take them as they resonate, okay? So whatever shattered in you ended a cycle. You came through looking at some very, very difficult truths that maybe you were scared of looking at in the past. Well, not anymore. Whatever happened to you, I feel like you couldn't avoid these anymore, and you had to look at them. Bringing you from a keeper current, bringing you down a keeper current found in rivers and streams. If you, in true life, if you fall into a keeper current or you get pulled into one and you try to fight it, it'll drown you. They require a level of faith and trust that the current will take you down to the bottom of the river and back up on the other side. It will eventually release you. Okay. Symbolically, what's happening here, when you go down to the bottom of the river, you're meeting with Pluto. Pluto's Lord of the Underworld, where you're seeing what part of your soul you sold for an illusion that helped you survive. You know, when you're a child and you're pure, the world is more than what we think it is. And oftentimes we can't release that purity, and we can if we have people around us that will protect us, that will protect that purity, that will resonate with it within themselves and therefore see it in you and therefore protect it. But if you were in an environment where that innocence and purity was not recognized, seen within themselves, whoever they are, your family, workplace, friendships, whoever this was in your past, in your home and personal history, could be family, could be community, could be culture, okay, whatever this is for you, whoever they are, take it as it resonates. It'll be different for each of you. You went through some very heavy truths about this regarding your relationship to yourself and to your own image. And you've let go of some very powerful energies that kept you stuck in your own reflection, even maybe complicit and faithful to an image of yourself that maybe was not your true self. And that's true for all of us. So you're not alone in that. Trust me when I say, oh, look it's on the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Cups. Loving, nurturing energy. So that's what I'm feeling, is whatever you've gone through with the Ten of Swords was very painful, but you had to. And when you go through at the bottom of the ocean, meeting with Pluto, seeing what you sold in yourself in exchange for an illusion, well, now you're giving the illusion back in exchange for the authentic part of yourself that it's almost like Pluto was holding for you. So now you get a piece of that back, and now you're re-emerging up on the other side, and a cycle has ended. It maybe didn't end as perfectly as you would have preferred it to, but it is an ending no less. It's an ending for you. Okay, they're asking me to bring this in, and I have to bring it in. I'm going to try to speed this up. I don't want to take up too much time like in this reading. It is supposed to be a quickie. Okay. This relationship or cycle, whatever this cycle represents, and how it ended not as perfectly as you would have preferred it to, is they're asking me to bring in the story about the monk who was going into the city to do his work, his community work, and one of his most biggest disciple begged to go along with him. And the monk said, okay, you can come with me, but I'm on two conditions. You don't challenge me, and you don't question me. You follow in my steps, and you observe, but you do not question or challenge me. And his disciple said, great. So as they leave the temple and they're heading into the city, on the way into the village, they passed by a mother and her crippled daughter who were begging. And the disciple watched the monk, ready for the monk to do his great works. And he saw the monk turn and look at the mother and daughter and nod and continue on his way. And the disciple was stunned, like, what? I thought you're supposed to feed the poor and help them. And what do you mean? What are you doing? But he had promised he won't challenge the monk or question the monk. Later on, as they get closer to the gates of the village, they see this man who falls into a hole in the ground, a deep hole that was full of poisonous snakes. And the man is writhing in the ground, ooh, ah, ooh, as the snakes, the poisonous, venomous snakes were biting him. And the disciple watched the monk thinking, surely now this must be the moment of his great works. And the monk walked up to the edge of the hole, looked beyond the hole toward the city, but listened, stopped and heard the man, but he did not interrupt it. He did not look down into the hole. He looked across the hole, the hole in the ground, and he looked toward the village. And then pretty soon continued on his way. And the disciple now was furious. He was and the man in the hole actually died. And the disciple was furious, so he couldn't hold his silence anymore. And he said, "Monk, what have you, wait, I have to say something. I have to say something." So the monk turned and looked at him and said, "Speak." And the disciple said, "You said you were coming into town, into the village to do your works. I saw you pass by a mother and a crippled child. You didn't do any work. You just looked at them and said hi and carried on. Then you saw this guy fall in a hole. He's getting bitten by all these poisonous snakes. You stop next to the hole, but you don't even look into it or give the guy a hand, and he died. What kind of work is this? What is this?" And the monk got really angry. And he said, "You said that you would not challenge me or question me. You have violated your own oath. Because of the compassion of my own heart," he said, I will tell you the mistake that you have made in your perception." He said, "Did you not see when we passed by the mother and her child that the child was working off karma from a previous life? And the mother was there to support her. Did you see that? No. All you saw was your own discomfort about their situation. You saw your pity. You saw your sadness that you projected onto them, and then you expected me to administer to them. And in fact, I wouldn't have been administering to them. I would have been administering to you, to your sorrow, to your pity, to your misguidedly compassionate heart. You wouldn't understand that they were working off karma and then project all of your pity onto it. Then the man, did you not see that like attracts like? Had you seen that this man intended to go into the city and do physical harm, even kill people? Because that was in his heart. That's what attracted him to the hole. He said, had you rescued that man and let him out of the hole, had he survived this, he would have went into this city and committed murder. And whatever blood was on his hands would have been on yours. He said, you are a fool, because what you see is not the truth. You see yourself. You don't see the situations as they truly are. So this is what I'm saying, not that you're a fool, but whatever you think is imperfect, it isn't. The cycle is ending according to karma and according to the way it needs to end. And I feel like you have been in this cycle for a very long time. These are big time cards. That story came to me twice, and I felt Spirit saying, speak it, tell the story. They need to hear this. Because you spent a lot of time in these cycles. And ending them, Spirit is letting me know that you have been projecting your own sorrow and compassion for the other person onto them. Not trusting in the natural laws. Whatever has ended needs to end, and that's what you need to trust in. That's what you need to peer your soul into. If you're going to peer into anything, peer into the necessity that the cycle needed to end, because there is a greater cycle coming in for you. If you stayed tied to a certain perception of, what that is enmeshment. You're not getting a clear reading of the situation because you are enmeshed with whoever is attached to these cycles. You're not seeing it clearly. And the Creator needs you to know that whatever you're seeing, you're projecting of yourself onto it. And to let go and to trust Gaia, trust the fixed signs, trust yourself, Trust the intelligence of your own process. Okay? Whatever you feel is your own, whatever things may come up in you, like, oh, the other person, are they okay? I should call them, I should email them, would be for, maybe not for all of you, but for some of you, to do that would be detrimental to your own empowerment, because you're falling back into an old pattern. That's why these have ended, because that pattern is finished. So trusting in the intelligence of your process, okay? Not in the sorrow and pity you feel because it's the end of a cycle. It needs to happen. We may feel sad it's the end of a day, but that doesn't stop the day from ending. That doesn't stop the sun from going down and coming up again, like in the morning, in a new day, in a new contract. That's the force the Creator wants you to assume. It's the power of the sun, the power of the cosmos. That's cosmic evolution. Trust in your own, the intelligence of your own cosmic evolution. Let the day die and the new day come. Don't hold it off by clinging to old emotions, to an old self. Let the old self go with the old cycle. That's what this is. Whatever's going on here, a shattering of your perception, who you used to be, is ending with these cycles. Okay? Okay, what is number 45, Creator? What is number 45? Since I've learned that story, it has helped me pull my spirit out of so many situations, so many perceptions, and just trust what is. Of course, if I see like someone getting beat up or whatever, that's a totally different thing, okay? But people just working off their own karma. Well, I mean, if you see, I don't know, see, there's that man fell into the pit of hole and was getting bit by snakes. See, I get caught up by my own desire to save the world when I need to trust the world's processes. I need to trust people, and people's intelligence is of their own process. And not be such a control freak. I'm not even kidding, okay? So it requires the discernment of spirits. The discernment of spirits. I feel like the Creator's asking us to pay attention to the gold. Look at the gold in the background here and the gold in the background here. The Creator's asking us to pay attention to the gold. See, this is what you've been purifying yourself, coming out of these old cycles and coming out of an old version of yourself. What's coming out in you and what's reemerging from within you is a love of abundance, a love of life. I feel like your old self didn't trust life, didn't trust love, didn't trust what is. Yes, you've been hanging on, feeling very burdened and stressed because of the closure of a cycle. Oh God, I want to cry. Because of this closure, I feel like many of you have been very, very overburdened about it. Yes. And that's why that story needed to come in. Trust the end of the cycle. There's there's a new spirit of life coming into your life. You need, obviously, the Creator is saying you need to let yourself grieve, because what ending is ending. There's nothing you can do about this except grieve. It's like a white buffalo. You need to let it go. It's a system that has run its course. It's time. It's time. Trust the end of a cycle. See, that's what I'm feeling. The cycle was in reverse here in your present energy. It's now upright. So whatever you have done in working through your overburdenedness, but I'm feeling like you will come into a place where you can trust. Because whatever's ending is under contract to end. You can't stop this. It's like you can't stop the sun from going down. You can't stop this. You've initiated this. I feel like you initiated this, thinking you initiated it, but it was already on its way. You were just tuned into the energies. And now that you're this far in, you're like, whoa, okay, now it's getting real. Maybe this shouldn't end. Maybe we can go back to the way it was. Maybe we can fix it. No, you can't. It's the end. It's the end. Everything has its peak, and then it has its decline. Every process has its peak and then its decline. And whatever this is has peaked. What is eyes of the eagle, Creator? What is eyes of the eagle? What is the, oh shoot, okay. Right where you are, okay. Okay, that makes perfect sense. On the bottom of this deck, I wasn't supposed to shuffle, but I did because I want to use a new pile for this, like a new deck. So what's on the bottom of the deck for this is the Page of Swords. So yes, in the midst of you finding forgiveness within yourself for picking up old patterns and trying to fix something in the past using an old version of yourself that you can't, gives you a lot of mental restless energy, and that is what is needed. It's okay. It's okay. It's like you're burning off kinetic, ethereal, how do I say this, energy. You're burning off karmic energy as you think about this process that you can't change. And the curiosity of the end of a cycle. It's like you're looking back at this cycle, curious to see beyond it, but you see the loving nature of what is emerging in yourself is what's carrying you forward. You're already gaining momentum in this new process, and the intelligence of your process is gaining momentum as you move forward into a higher dimension. What is eyes of the eagle, Creator? What is eyes of the eagle rising above the fray? I feel like you will be released in the trusting of your karmic energy. You will be released from the enmeshment of the cycle. Oh, beautiful. The King of Cups upright. So what I see with this, rising above the fray. Your freedom will come after a season of you being, possibly you, this could be somebody else too that's knowing that they are losing you, but after a season of victimization, self-victimization, self-entrapment, somebody feels trapped, maybe you feel trapped in an old, it's almost like even though patterns can die in us, but then we still have the habit of it, you know, or but I'm feeling like the creator is acknowledging the self entrapment that you're coming out of, coming into a new energy. But I'm also feeling that this is representing somebody else that is seeing you ascend into a new level, into a new timeline. Ascend into a new level and timeline because they're seeing the force behind they're seeing the force of your evolution. Like, this isn't faked, this is real, this is a real evolution, and someone is watching you. I feel like and also you are watching you, and I'm feeling that you are feeling that this is real, this is the real thing, the real change, the true change. And the star in reverse. I'm feeling like the energies that you have to overcome in order to come into the higher dimensions, with this overall card of this entire process, with the last pile here, I feel like the creator is saying you will come into this. But you're going to come through your empowerment as a new force comes in and clears up the past and clears up your acknowledgement that something couldn't be healed. And it's not that that's going to go away, but it's going to become a part of your emotional wisdom, your emotional intelligence. It's going to become a part of your process, a part of your wisdom, your emotional intelligence. Because some people don't want to heal. Not everybody wants to heal through contracts. I used to naively think everybody wants to be healed, everybody wants to be whole. No, they don't. Some people don't feel worthy of it. Some people are too terrified of it. Some people are too comfortable in their comfort zone. Some people would die for their comfort zone. Some people are too embedded in their addictions. The reasons are infinite. Very few people make it to the higher dimensions. Okay. But whatever this is a shift in your values. A shift in your values is upon you now. Trust in the intelligence of your process. It is great. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for tuning into my reading, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. All righty.